Good marketing good marketing is storytelling. It's having a narrative. So if we agree that marketing is nothing more than storytelling, what story is your marketing telling? What story you're telling? Yes, that's very important. But another really important piece of this is whose story are you telling? Whose voice are you using to tell that story? Is your marketing your own? Let me tell you a brief story to illustrate why we need to pay attention to this more now than ever. Last week, I was in Substack. I'm in Substack quite a bit. Writers, and I read a lot. I read as much as I write, probably. And I came across one story that was fantastically popular. It had 39,000 likes. That's a lot. It had over 1,000 comments. And I get it. I get why. Because I read it and it grabbed me. So I'm going to ask you just to listen along. I'm going to actually read this story to you. It's very short. Stay with me. Very short. But I'm going to read this story to you. And on the other side, I'm going to tell you what happened after I read this story. Here it is. Very short. I'm a hairdresser. Small salon. Walk-ins welcome. A teenage girl came in one afternoon. She had matted hair, hadn't been washed in weeks. How much for a cut? She asked. $35. She had 7 in coins. She started to leave. I said, wait, sit down. I spent 2 hours on her hair, washed it 3 times. Deep condition, trim, style. She stared in the mirror, started crying. I look normal, she said. Sweetheart, what is going on? Everything spilled out. Homeless, sleeping in her car, 17, trying to finish high school. I have a job interview tomorrow. I just want to look presentable. I gave her the $7 back. For gas, I said, and good luck tomorrow. She got the job. She started coming back once a month, always with the $7. And I always took it. Never told her cuts cost more. She graduated high school. She got into community college. She came to see me before her first day. She said, make me look like I belong there. She graduated 2 years ago. She's a social worker now. Last week, she brought 12 girls to my salon, all from the homeless shelter where she now volunteers. These girls, they all have job interviews. Can you help them? I looked at those scared faces, saw her 3 years ago. My whole staff showed up. We did all 12 girls for free. Haircuts, makeup, confidence. All 12 got their jobs. And the original girl, she stood beside me, crying. You started this, she said. That $7 haircut changed my entire life. Now, my salon, we do it monthly. Fresh cut Fridays. Because sometimes looking in the mirror and seeing hope is all it takes. Now, let me tell you, I read this story. A tear or two may have fallen. If I'm being honest, I'm sitting in my chair reading this story, just all the feels, right? And I think part of it is because I could see my own daughter in this story. she's a stylist. She works at a very she salon, but I could see that their salon culture, I could see this as being something they might do. So it got me, right? I copied that story. I texted that story to my daughter. I think it was very early, 5:30 a.m. She was like, "Mom, what are you doing? Stop texting me." But I texted it to her, and I'm sitting there, and I was like, wow, that's, good humans doing good things. And I was thinking about our industry, good humans doing good things. It does not get more real than in real estate. We've got real people doing real things with a lot of life going on in the background. I don't need to tell the listeners. You guys know what I mean. So you can imagine how I felt when I went to bask in the feeling, in the good feeling of hope and generosity. And I went in and I just started scrolling below the story. And there it was. A little disclaimer. For more stories like this, subscribe. It was a story. It was a story. It was not autobiographical. It was an author doing an amazing job of writing a short story. As a matter of fact, he does this. He writes those kinds of stories. And there's many variations of the same story. Maybe somebody was a baker, somebody was a medical care provider, somebody doing a good thing. In the comment section, they were brutal. It's not real. You can't be profitable. I'm a salon owner. The whole bit. What was the crime here? Why did people have such that visceral reaction to this? I'll tell you why. Because they felt manipulated. There was no crime. There was no crime in creating hope in a short story. Where's the crime in that? There is none. But when people feel as if they've been manipulated somehow, especially when they feel it deeply, what do you think happens? They resent, they get angry. It is not good. So, how does this relate to real estate? What stories are told in marketing right now? Look across the landscape of our industry. What stories are being told to us? I encourage all of you, whether you're an agent, a broker, an owner, sit back. Look at what is being told or said. Is that your story? Is that how you feel? Because now more than ever, we need to stand quietly and decide how we feel before we start marketing stories that we may not agree with. Now, if you do agree with the marketing that you send out, beautiful, beautiful. But as we all know, we have duties to the public to tell the truth always. It just depends what you believe that truth is. Because as you know, we can have the same story told the same way. Facts are the same, and yet they're told in two different ways with two different outcomes. So, marketing is storytelling. Whose story are you telling? Is it in your voice? Now, if you agree that the voice going out on your behalf, the marketing going out on your behalf is accurate, true, and depicts exactly what you want it to, the way you want it to, great. If not, you need to get quiet and decide, what do I offer to my consumers? How do I deliver that? Does my marketing say that? Does it say it the way I might say it? Or, alternatively, brokers, especially brokers at the office level. We all know that there are many brokerages, And the feeling at each branch office might differ because that broker and that leader running that office does it their way and they do it brilliantly. How are we communicating that to the agents? Brokers who do an amazing job of that marketing will be recruiting magnets. Matter of fact, I'm not even sure you're going to need to recruit because agents are now looking for your point of view. What's your story here? What do you believe? What will I become here? These are the stories that your marketing needs to tell. Not occasionally, not when people are first hired, but in the hallways, in the weekly meetings. As a matter of fact, your point of view should not grow quieter with time. It should grow louder with time. So if I'm an agent and I've been somewhere for 5 years, 10 years, 30 years, the core value, the culture, what you believe, that should be amplified now more than ever. So, what's the harm if you don't? The harm is somebody else could tell a story that's not yours. Somebody else could feel manipulated, just like the comment section of the story I gave as an example. So I will say this just to close. Remember, your marketing is a narrative. It's a story. Whose story are you telling? Let's get that right. We'll talk next week.